As I always say, learning, when there's very little learning in the world, is extremely appreciated by the Ribbono Shel Olam. We said that that's what the Mefarshim say. That's why, unlike any other holiday, this holiday is split to Purim and Shushan Purim. Because since there's a mitzvah of Adal Yada, who's going to learn in order to uphold the world? And in Loi Brisi Yom V'Layla Chukas Shemayim V'Aretz 70. So therefore, on Purim, you have the people of Shushan that will be learning. And in Shushan, you have the rest of the world that will be learning. And this way, there's always learning in the world. And when we learn, when there's very little learning in the world, it's especially sweet to the Ribbono Shel Olam. Learning is always sweet, but especially on days like today. There is a minig, by the way, which Rav Mintz starts always his Sudas Purim, that he opens up a Mishnah Brura from Hilchas Pesach, and he learns something from Hilchas Pesach, because it says, Shaylim V'Doshin, B'Hilchas HaPesach, Kaidem HaPesach, Lamed Yom. And the Lamed Yom is today. So there are people that break out the Haggadah. There's nothing wrong with it. To break out the Haggadah, just make sure that you don't make it chametzik, right? And you know what? I'll tell you a very quick word on Pesach to fulfill the Shaylan V'Darshan. You know, there's a minig that it's a chashuv minig in Vishnitz that they're makbid to throw into the fire the candle that they search the chametz with. They put it in the bag and they throw that also. The question is, why burn the candle? And in Vishnitz they say, because we know that chametz represents the Yetzer Hara, the bad things. And with the candle, you're searching out the bad things. But to look for the bad in other people is not a good trait. People that look for bad in other people get into trouble. Those are the people that speak Lashon Hara. Those are the people that make machlokes. So we take that candle and we burn that candle. Because although we have to look for the bad in ourselves, but this midah of looking for bad in other people, that deserves to be burnt. Because it's always better to train yourself to see the good in other people. It's no trick to see the bad in other people. That takes no skill at all. But it just says we don't see the bad in ourselves. People's chesroinus we see right away. To see people's milas, that's a big thing. Anyway, we're dedicated by the Fisher family, Linishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shlomo ben Avram Halevi, Perel Bas Ruvain. We're also dedicated to Linishmas Elchanan Bunim ben Naftali Beinish, Elimelech ben Eliezer, Lefush Shleim for Yomis Mechayesar, for the schutz of Avram ben Yom Beinish ben Malki Yudis and family. We are also learning from Meir ben Chayesar and dedicated by Yoel Klugman and family for their Parnasa, Gesund, and Nachas. So the first Mishnah of the 10th parak tells us Nara HaMorasa. Now a Nara is a girl from 12 and 1 day to 12 and a half in 1 day. Before that she's a Ketana. After that she's a Boigris. At the Nara HaMorasa belongs to two people. If she's a betrothed maiden, that means she had Kedushin, but not yet Nesuin, not yet Chuppah. So Avia Ubala Mefirin Nedarim. If she makes a vow, the father with the oris have to annul her vow. Hey for av, v'loy hey for abal. If the father annulled it, but the oris did not, or hey for abal, v'loy hey for av, or the oris annulled it, but the father did not, ain't a mufar. The vow is not removed. If one of them confirmed it, we know once a vow is confirmed, then it can't be annulled. So if either the father or the oris confirms the vow, then the vow is in place. Mishnah Beis tells us, Mesa of if the father died, leaving her at the age of Nara, leaving her just connected to her oris, It doesn't empty out to the husband. The oris alone doesn't have enough power to annul the vow. However, Mesa Baal, if the oris died and she's still a nara, the father can annul the vow by himself, just like if she wasn't married. In this instance, the strength of the father is better than the strength of the oris. B'davar achar, in another area, the oris is stronger than the father. There is a time, very rare, but there is a time that an oris can annul even when she's older than 12 and a half in one day. Now, normally an oris can't annul, but if she lived by, normally there's only a year in between the erisin and the nesuin. If a year passed, so then the oris has to support her. In that case, even though she's a baigris, and even though he didn't consummate the marriage yet, he would be unable to annul her vow. So there is one case where an oris can annul the vow of a baigris, while the of ain't a mefer bebegger. A father, once she's a baigris, 12 and a half in one day, the father has no power over her. It says binureha beisavia, but once she's a baigris, the father can never annul the vow. So in that area, the oris is stronger than the father. Again, we want to thank you all so much for making. Here's a beautiful minyan, 2:00 in the afternoon.